Eduardo Valencia Ospina and Carolina Olarte Bacares were chosen by the national government to present the country in its dispute with Nicaragua.
In the last hours, the Foreign Ministry announced through a press release that the national government has proceeded to appoint new agents in the case of the litigation initiated by Nicaragua against Colombia in 2013 before the International Court of Justice. First, Eduardo Valencia Ospina was appointed as an agent. He holds a PhD in Law and Economics from Universidad Javeriana and a master's degree in law from Harvard University. He is one of the jurists in Colombia most versed in international law and in matters of International Court of Justice. Dr. Valencia Ospina was Deputy Registrar and then Registrar of the International Court of Justice for 16 years. She is member and President of the International Law Commission of the United Nations. She also holds and has been an advisor and counsel for Colombia in litigation before the International Court of Justice in 2001. Carolina Olarte Bacares, Colombia's new ambassador to the Netherlands, a lawyer from the Universidad Javeriana with a master's degree in international law from the Robert Schuman University in Strasbourg and a doctorate in law from the University of Paris, Panthéon-Sorbonne, will be his co-agent. Likewise, the press release also states that Mistress Elizabeth Taylor J., biologist and physicist with a master's degree in marine environmental protection from the University of Bangor, Wales, in the United Kingdom, is the Archipelago Department's co-agent. Rizal, born in Providence, former ambassador of Colombia in Kenya, and will also be an ambassador of our country on a special mission for the Caribbean. Elizabeth was the manager of Coralina Foundation, a manager of the Seaflower Biosphere Reserve, an expert in environmental issues.
The special waste collection began again this week. This is a program developed by the departmental government.
The departmental administration, through its collection operator, resumed this week the special waste collection service, in addition to the extraction of vegetal material resulting from the passage of Hurricane Julia through the archipelago.
Iniciamos nuestras rutas de recolección.
We restarted our collection route. Today we were in the sector of Ceribie, Red Ground, Campo Hermoso, around the rock and other areas nearby. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have a special drive in the neighborhood of Cliff, where we will be collecting special waste and plant material left by Hurricane Julia. This collection will be all day. For Thursday, we have the sector of San Luis and surrounding neighborhoods, like the Bight, the Corrales, and on Friday, we have an exclusive drive in the area of Schoolhouse. We invite the entire community of the island to make use of this service, which is the collection of special waste such as washing machines, refrigerators, stoves, etc. These types of materials are collected by us, and as I mentioned before, we will be going to all sectors of the island.
The Secretariat of Public Services and Environment invites citizens to be attentive to the collection schedule published by the departmental administration.
In compliance with the environmental regulations of the island and within the framework of the activities that are developed for the benefit of third parties in natural tourist attractions, Coralina conducted an inspection of the tent service providers on the beaches of Bight in order to ensure that they comply with the environmental standards and requirements for the provision of this service.
The Subdirectorate of Seas and Coasts of the Corporation for Sustainable Development, Coralina, conducted a series of inspections in the Sprat Bay sector, where a total of 17 tent permits were evidenced with their respective viabilities and others in the process of renewal. The Coralina Beach Coordinator with more details.
La resolución 061 del 2010.
The resolution 061 of 2019 establishes the occupation of 17 shade cells for tent occupation. This resolution was issued by Coralina in 2019 with the 2014 carrying capacity study. 17 tent permits with their respective viability and others in the process of renewal were fully evidenced as well. In fact, many of them extend In the permitted areas exceeding between 1 and 3 meters of extension of the permit issued. As for the permits for chairs, many are complying with their viability, others install more chairs that were not contemplated in the initial resolution granted.
It is important to remember that the measures are stipulated in Resolution 061 of February 2019 issued by Coralina, which established measures for the protection of beaches for the archipelago and details guidelines for their comprehensive management. Likewise, the Environmental Corporation reminds tent and chair service providers that they may not exceed the limit of the boundaries established for the installation of tents, not to exceed the number of the units for which they were granted, and permit, since this will be subject to no renewal of a permit. Additionally, they informed that the granting of permits for the provision of tents and chairs in the Sprat Bight will be closed until further notice.
And the process of choosing the new departmental controller is moving forward. This time, the list of the nominees to continue with their candidacy for the public post was announced.
After the completion of the public hearing of October 18, where 5 of 6 applicants for the position of departmental comptroller presented themselves to the ILAC community, yesterday the Departmental Assembly disclosed the shortlist to be continuing the election process.
El día de ayer,
Yesterday, the short list was chosen. What was the due process? The report of the Accidental Commission was brought to the plenary where the report was voted, where they chose the first 3 scores that were chosen yesterday. And today, through a resolution, we have the short list to develop the process of interview, election, and possession of the new comptroller of the department on October 31st.
The candidates that comprise the short list are Starling Molano Grenard Bent, Macbeth Pumir Kogoyo, and Eriona Williams Reed.
The Departmental Administration and Social Prosperity announces to the community of the archipelago the beginning of the new operational process, Phase 4 on the Families in Action program.
Social Prosperity began Phase 4 of the Families in Action program, whose slogan is "No one is left behind." After nearly 9 years of not having mass enrollments in the country, the Families in Action program from April 19, 2021 began this process that will end on December 31st, 2022. For this reason, the Secretary of Social Development responsible for the program in the department invites the community to join.
Y en articulación, la Gobernación Departamental.
In a joint effort, the departmental government, through the Secretariat of Social Development and the Department for Prosperity, is joining forces in this new registration process. In this new phase, we have 3 criteria that will be key for families to be included in this phase. The first is that the households have been surveyed under the CISBEN 4 methodology. The second is that the households surveyed are in categories A1 to A5, ranging from B1 to B4 of CISBEN. Finally, for those households that have children and adolescents under 14 years of age, in this new stage, it is estimated that 1,058 households can be benefited from this new phase. 058 households may benefit from the state's offer.
The Departmental Administration invites all the interested community to approach the office of the Program Families in Action of the Department or Social Prosperity.
And yesterday, the environmental entity Coralina and the regional SENA San Andres signed an agreement that will reduce the negative environmental impact of the island.
The SENA Regional San Andres and Coralina signed a memorandum of understanding of alliance to strengthen the department's enterprises in its green components. This initiative aims to make businesses environmentally friendly.
Yesterday, we made a breakthrough in the improvement of the quality of life of the department. What we are able to do and what we are looking forward for is to improve the environmental quality of the department through the strengthening of the companies that we manage through the Business Development Center and the Coralina Environmental Corporation. This alliance with the corporation through this document of understanding, what we will achieve is that every time we form a business plan, the environmental component will be immersed in the business plan.
The new alliance will also train entrepreneurs to apply environmentally friendly practices in their businesses, as well as provide assistance in accessing sources of financing.
Culture and tradition shine in the activities organized in the capital of the country around the Raisal Week. A good assessment has been confirmed to date.
An excellent balance has had the Raisal Week that traditionally takes place in the country's capital, a week in which an organization led by Raisal creates recreation and leisure space so that islanders, Raisal, and those interested in living the Raisal culture and tradition can attend. For this 28th version of the event, the focus has been on traditional Raisal music, a legacy to preserve in Bogota. Seeks to promote the cultural heritage of the department in the capital and allow Raisal to feel at home through the activities that are performed.
Until today, we have carried out 2 activities. The first one was the opening that we did on Saturday, October 22nd, and the second one was the spiritual day that we did on Saturday 23rd. Tomorrow we will have an academic day. On Thursday 27th, we will have the commemoration of the Day of the Racial Woman. On Friday 28th, we will have the gospel concert. On Saturday 29th, we will have the concert that we will alternate with the gastronomic fair, and on Sunday we will have our sport tournament.
So far, only 2 activities have been carried out. It is expected to have a good balance of people for the upcoming activities and to end with a flourish on Saturday, October 29, when the Caribbean Roots and Caribbean Fair concert will be held with a gastronomic fair. Finally, on October 30, the Raisal Week would end with a basketball tournament.
And now it's time for Sport News with Victor Fusalva.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island, and this time with Caribbean Storm, a team that continues its gearing process, accumulating victories. Each game presents a different situation, and that is why the coaching staff headed by Coach Ivan Garcia continues working and looking for a collective structure to face their next matches. We spoke with Andrés Ibargüen.
We have a team that is already meshing very well, and everyone is learning how each player moves and so on. So I think that at this point, everyone knows who does well and who does badly. We all know what are the strengths and weaknesses. So I think everyone is already in that mentality. Everyone has a role and everyone is fulfilling their role.
Andrés Ibargüen has been doing well and has won the MVP of the week on several occasions. Adding to this the great work of Michael Jackson, Greg Foster, Ayarza, Lucena, and the rest of the team working collectively for the island team. The Caribbean closed their last victory at home against Corsarios of Cartagena by a score of 74-68 with an outstanding performance of Ibargüen and Ayarza. The island team ratifies the second place in the standings with 7 games won and 3 lost for a total of 21 points. According to an official communique, the Caribbean scheduled matches against the Grillos of Medellin has been postponed, and it will be rescheduled for a later date due to the participation of the Paisa team in the South American League. The next match for Caribbean Storm will be this weekend on Saturday and Sunday against Titanes of Barranquilla at the Ginny Bay Coliseum in San Luis. In the international scenario, an outstanding performance of Tito Polo in the Dominican Baseball League.
Aquí se está tirando unos hitters, ¿eh? Bueno, Tito Polo está sacando un batazo profundo que va buscando atrás el patrullero central, sigue atrás, se metió en la pista ante seguridad. Perdí la conexión con ella.
Things continue to go well for Islander baseball player Tito Polo with El Cibao Giants of the Dominican Republic League. His outstanding performance in the field has given very good things to talk about the Islander. With the Giants' victory, the team where Tito Polo plays moved back into the tie for the third place. An outstanding performance by Tito in a rare play. Tito stole the home plate and the umpire gave him the safe decision to score the fifth run. The Giants opened the scoring with an uncontested bunt by Tito Polo, who then moved to second base on a wild pitch by opposing pitcher Sean Anderson. The first run came in on the legs of Tito Polo.
Very good by Tito Polo because he's doing the thing very good in Dominicana League.
Good for the Islander baseball player who continues to demonstrate his quality and to put on the colors of the Insular Department on high.
And this will be all in sports for tonight. We will see you on another broadcast. We continue with Lisa.
Thank you, Victor. With sport news, we reach to the end of this broadcast, but we see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. with more of Teleislas News. Good night.